Welcome to another episode of Careful Boys. Today we're going to dive deep into some other branches we may have taken down this road called life. If you had listened to everything your parents said, where do you think you'd be right now?
Dude, they were so dumb. So dumb.
They were really that dumb?
If I followed in everything that they said, I would have been absolutely in a horrible position.
Where do you think you'd be at this moment?
Yeah, what do you
think you would even have made it this far?
What would you be doing in 2025 if you did exactly what they said?
I would have been a classical pianist.
Wait, what the?
I think you could look like a pianist.
Is running like a boba shop?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, they were so dumb that you would have ended up a classical pianist?
Yeah,
Why is that so bad?
You're talking to a pianist.
Well, classical pianist where though? Like at a church or at
like at a Nordstrom's?
Yeah, like a symphony or yeah. Like where at?
All right.
Or are you seeing it as a bad thing or as a good thing?
Or like on a cruise.
I don't know now. You're making me question. What if...
Careful what you say.
I don't know.
Like if you never defied anything they ever told you.
You look like a classical pianist.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So my dad had music school.
Yeah.
He was an opera singer. And I think, so my brother was just already like, I'm a fucking mechanic. Fuck this shit, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then he became a scientist, so they gave up on him. I really loved music.
Yeah.
So I think they had dreams of like, oh, okay, we're gonna build this music school.
Right.
And he's gonna fucking take over that, and then I'm gonna pave the way. I'm gonna do opera in America. I'm gonna be like the first Asian to do this fucking Phantom of the Opera show. And then like I'm gonna come up, and then like I'm like, yo, that's lame, bro. Like I want to do rap. Lame. Nah, can you imagine me singing Figaro, Figaro, Figaro? You know, it's like
Low key, I can see it though. That's the crazy thing.
That is
like,
crazy. I can't see it.
Like I can't see it.
Yeah.
No, I can see you as the first person to merge opera and rap.
Step up style.
Yeah, breakdancing. So
You could have like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Dude, opera rap?
Yeah, for real. I can see this guy
everything
doing
your
that.
Parents do is so lame, right?
Sure,
So
yeah.
like, when I went to a ghetto ass school, so everyone had young parents. So all of my friends' parents,
it's
they
all
had the
moms.
freshest clothes,
Okay.
and my parents came in dressed
yeah, that's right.
fucking in a suit and a dress. All the time, like look like, and I'm like, why you guys gotta look and pretend that you're rich? You're not fucking rich.
Oh.
And it was embarrassing, dude, because they're like, oh, your grandparents are here, because my parents were old, and then they had young parents, so all of my classmates.
Oh, they would straight up call them your
Dude,
grandparents.
yeah, because my
Grandma's here.
yeah, but my parents weren't old. It's just that their parents
yeah.
were teen fucking parents.
Yeah.
So their grandparents were actually the same age as my parents.
Right.
But then they also looked old because they dressed up.
Yeah.
And everything was so like, oh, why you guys gotta be classical? Like, why can't you do hip hop? You know, like.
we're baggy jeans.
Yeah. And then everything was like.
You should have told them that. Be like, hey mom, this next parent-teacher conference is gonna be hip hop themed.
You just come ready.
Don't wear a dress. They're gonna make fun of you.
Props to my dad though, because I asked him, I was like, hey, like, can you please wear a t-shirt?
Yeah.
And this motherfucker came through with a Grand Canyon tourist t-shirt tucked into his slacks, belt all the way above his belly button.
Dorky as hell.
Yeah, and then he had like some tourist hat, like a fucking ball cap. And he was like, yeah, bro, like he did it. And I
Dude,
was
that's
like,
crazy how that's like swag, man.
For real. That's like
Yeah, that's dad swag. Yeah, for sure.
but I was like, it ain't the
That's
same,
fresh.
dude.
But is he cool because he doesn't care?
Creator style right now.
Balance is on the white ones.
But back then it was like classical, and then you know like when you watch Steve Urkel and
Yeah,
shit
sure,
like
yeah,
that,
that's
and then
how he
like
looks.
everybody's into, they're like, oh, that's the nerd stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta go Stefan Arkell, baby.
So if you listen to him, you think your career would for sure revolve around music?
Yeah, if I took over that trajectory,
You'd probably be a piano teacher as well.
I would have probably took over the music school that they built. I would have
Sounds
probably
successful.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think the way they taught was Asian style. So I would have beat the fuck out of all of my students and then gotten to jail.
Oh, because times would have changed.
But they would have been really good though. The kids would have been so good.
It probably would have been great.
Yeah.
And there's no way Joe would have adapted.
No, exactly.
Nope.
There's gonna be a documentary like the dark side.
Yeah.
You end up on Netflix.
With Asian kids with tears around on their eyes on the piano and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's true.
Because the cool thing is, I didn't know it was a stereotype until way later that Asian kids all were like, oh, my parents want me to be a doctor. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's right.
I never,
Yours
I didn't
You had
know
the
this.
opposite.
No, so
Grew up with this, so it's like you wouldn't know. You think everyone is the same, go through the same thing.
What did they think about you wanting to be a doctor? If you were to say that.
if my parents,
Yeah, like if you had rebelled against being a musician that they wanted you to be, and you were like, but I want to be a doctor.
oh, I think they would have loved it.
So funny. I told my mom like, oh, I kind of want to like be a nurse to help people. You're gonna kill someone.
You're gonna give them the wrong shot.
Yeah, be an IT or something. I know.
Yeah.
Just because I can fix Wi-Fi.
Did exactly what they didn't want me to do.
IT.
The exact thing that they were afraid would happen to you.
Yeah, cause I'm a businessman.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So both of them chose music because both of them came from. So my dad's dad. So my grandfather is like a CEO of some electric company that tied these electrical boxes to fucking like those wires. Those
Okay, yeah.
And then my mom's side, her grandfather was the Toshiba exec, and her dad was a CPA. So they're all business people.
Yeah.
And they blame their childhood of never having a family to them overworking in business.
Got it.
That
So
makes-
he was like, so they're like, don't be a person that just thinks about money and work all the time.
Yeah.
And then like, live a life of like balance and art and like whatever.
Interesting.
So they chose music and they're like, I'm coming to America.
That's very different from a lot of the other Asian experience. Like,
Yeah.
because
It's like
a lot
flipped.
of parents are
Yeah.
very like make money. Like that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because my parents weren't peasants that are like desperate for like,
Right, yeah.
I need money.
They didn't
right?
flee a war. And then
No.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's different. Whereas like,
Yeah.
they don't have this scarcity mindset of you need to make money to survive.
Yeah.
They just had debt like a motherfucker, and they didn't know how to control their spending because they were rich kids. And then,
Damn.
but they were like, you need to live a life of like enjoying purpose, like dumb hippies, you know.
Ah, weird.
Yeah.
And don't be greedy, but also religious, right?
Yeah.
It was against our religion to be flashy, greedy,
Yeah.
money hungry.
Can't adorn yourself.
And I fucking went that way, bro.
Yeah, look at you now.
I mean,
All the gold you out there, buddy.
but yeah. How about you?
Let's hear from Bart.
Yeah,
Would
Bart.
you become just a time traveler or?
Yeah.
If I listen,
Oh yeah, was your mom and dad in sync of what they wanted you to be? That's a good
kind of.
You're Cantonese and like different Chinese,
My
right?
mom's Taiwanese
Yeah.
and my dad's Cantonese. They got divorced when I was 6 because they don't see eye to eye on anything. But I do think they wanted me to be good in academics. So if I followed exactly what they wanted, I probably would have stayed in Chinese school until I was like 18. So I'd be really fluent in Mandarin, reading and writing. I'd be vegetarian.
So almost like a vegetarian, yeah.
My mom's vegetarian, and I'd be eating fucking vegetables all day. So
Went to one school only.
I'd probably have osteoporosis. I'd have osteoporosis. I'd be malnourished, and
sick.
a Buddhist vegan.
I'd be balding and shit. And then
Low blood pressure.
I would have stayed at one school. I would have ended up going to probably Whitney High School. You know Whitney and Cerritos? I would have went to Whitney if I did everything right.
You would have married Tracy.
No, she's, and I probably in my parents' eyes, it's like, but miss, damn. I'd have to probably marry.
Snobby.
It'd probably have to be Taiwanese or something. So Taika wouldn't exist.
Oh yeah.
Taika's my son. So it'd have to be Taiwanese.
Do you think they would have want you to be
She'd be
doctor?
Taiwa.
Taiwan.
Do you think both of them would have want you to be a doctor?
Well, my dad just wanted me to he just wanted me to finish college and apply myself. My mom wanted me to be a doctor. So they're not necessarily like this. They can kind of join, but then I'd end up being some sort of doctor. I would sound like a boring motherfucker.
Do you think you would have ever joined the?
Vegetarian?
Sounds kind of tight.
That's
You
fucking
just get
whack.
lost in the shuffle of Taiwanese doctors.
Do you think you would have ever joined the military?
No, because that was my way of trying to fix and get back on track, like fix stuff. So it'd be like
Yeah, you never lost. your way.
I'd probably die in boot camp because I'm vegetarian. Probably break or something.
Couldn't make it through.
My fucking eyeball will fall out.
Common side effect of vegetarian.
Yeah, just fucking lacking nutrients and shit.
No B vitamins.
That's pretty good though.
Probably get sunburn easily.
Still get to be a doctor.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
You get to be a one-eyed doctor. That's pretty sick.
Did your guys' parents like have your life set out for you, like traditional Asian
Little
parents,
bit,
where it's
a
like you
little
go
bit,
to
yeah.
this college and then you're gonna follow this career path?
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, because my dad worked at the hospital he worked at, and still works at. It's like all my uncles and like all of our cousins. It's like he almost controls who goes there, yeah, who works there.
So you would have been a radio tech? I mean a radiologist?
Rad tech, yeah.
Through nepotism.
Well, through I mean that's kind of how most Filipinos do it. Like as long as you can graduate and get all your stuff done, they can get you the job. Wow. Like no problem.
Connects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like and then my dad was always telling me that every day. He's like, you just gotta finish. You don't even have to get good grades. He's like, just complete it.
Yeah.
And we got a spot for you. Easy. He would always tell me that. It's like so easy.
Easy,
And he'd make me watch him at work. He's like, look, I'm not doing anything.
That's honestly tight.
Yeah.
Because all I do, I just push buttons. That's it.
Because growing up, when we were like dancing and everything, I would take all of my friends, even some of your guys. Like if anyone got hurt, I would take them to my dad's spot, and then they would all get free X-rays. The doctors would look at all their stuff like free, just like totally hooked up. And every time I'd leave, my dad's like, "You see how easy that is?"
Oh my god.
He's like, "And when you leave, I'm gonna take a nap." Yeah, and it wasn't just him. It's like all my cousins and uncles that work there too. They're like, "Hey, you see those holes in the wall?" He goes, "That's because we were messing around with the gurneys." He's like, "That's the kind of work we do out here." Because you really just push buttons. It's like you just gotta. There's like such a strict procedure in how you do everything, and it's done in a flash. Like you've got an X-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It don't look like it's that hard, right?
It takes literally like 5 minutes. Once they set you up, it's like 5 minutes. Like when they strip my foot, it's like
Exactly.
that's it.
And it's like at the time, I think that was only like a year and a half in school or something, or like 2 years.
Damn.
Mad quick. And
I remember asking him too. I'm like, "Oh, what is that?" He goes, "Oh, you gotta talk to the radiologist." So like it's like immediately whatever their job is.
Exactly.
You just go talk to someone else now.
Do the machine, and then when the thing comes out, they don't have to do nothing else. The doctor comes in and goes, "Okay, you see here, that's why your bone's all fucked up." But then my dad and he just bounces.
Takes a picture and both.
No, every time. Or he'll like mess around and like tell you a bad diagnosis, and then just as a joke.
I love how your dad already had it in his mind that you were lazy, so he was trying to pitch it to you as
Trying to like monetize.
there's no work here. It's easy.
Yeah, always. Especially because so in this particular hospital, it's in East LA, so it's like a very Mexican area. And then the reason why my dad will never retire.
White Memorial.
No, it's a different one. But then so it's him. All these other Filipino people were related to, and then a bunch of cholos. And then those cholos love my dad because my dad was able to get them their jobs. Like they came in like looking for work, and then he told them exactly what to do, helped them cheat on the test, whatever. Yeah.
We don't want people working at the hospital that cheat.
So every time I go there to visit, all these cholo guys are like, "Hey, your dad's the truth." They're always like complimenting and like I think my dad doesn't.
I always take a nap with them.
What's up? I don't see my dad get that kind of treatment anywhere. So that's why he's like, my dad's almost like 80, and he's like, "No, I'm not retiring."
Wow.
He's a hero.
Yeah, he wants to die in the hospital.
He wants to die in the X-ray.
Yeah, I would just be doing that exact track.
That's cool.
Probably have a house at 21 and shit.
You'd be unhappy on that track, or?
No, I don't think I'd be unhappy. I wouldn't know what I'm missing, but I think like I would forever be a consumer of all the things I ended up doing in this life.
You would have been watching alt universe Ryan dancing
But
and
happily,
watching.
I would happily love that. I would have happily
Yeah.
supported all the Filipino dancers and musicians. I would have not known that.
What
I would have
made
never
you
seen
not
this.
go on that track?
It just didn't seem as cool. That's it. Oh, you know what it is? Because there was a freaking pageant that I had to like escort one of my friends at. It was like a Filipino pageant thing, and usually they need like a guy to like escort her when she goes to get her thing. It's so weird. But then they were like, "Oh, you have to have a bio for yourself. The first time I have to write a bio," and I think I was like 17. And then it said in the bio, it's like, what do you want to be? What are you going to be when you grow up or whatever? And I was like, oh, damn, I got to like think of that. So then I wrote that I was going to be in radiology, rad tech and everything. And when I heard it said out loud on the thing when I was standing up there, I was like, that doesn't sound cool.
That bio changed your life.
Yeah.
Just that bio.
That's why breakdancer.
Yeah, because it says like, and Ryan is going to be a radiologist like his father. And I was like,
That doesn't sound right.
I went,
Nice.
that's not, I don't think so.
That's not right.
Yeah, it's just that simple, I guess. What about you, man? No martial arts?
Nah, I think, you know what's funny is like hearing how hearing how you guys grew up with your parents. I think my parents definitely took a different approach. By the time I was born, because I was 6 to 7 years apart, they were just kind of like, let's just make sure this dude can read and just get through school, yo. Because I kind of was, I don't want to say I was troubled, but like, I was definitely on a different track than the rest of my sisters, you know? So I think, like, there was main things that my dad just told me growing up. He would just be like, just whatever you do, just work hard at it, just be good at it. Like, that was the only thing he would say. But then, like, if I were to listen to my dad, when my dad started, like, day trading and stuff, he would be like, you just gotta learn how to do this. And by the time you're my age, you're gonna be fucking a millionaire and all that. But I would always hear my mom talk about it and be like, your dad's fucking losing money on it. I don't know what was true, right? Like, I have no idea. So I would hear that shit and be like, well, I'm not doing that. Like, that sounds fucking awful, right? And I think when my dad, when he got older, because he was a sound editor, he would do different jobs because I think he was sick of sound editing.
Worked on like some of the most major films. Like, that would go bless me.
Yeah, and he had a crazy resume. But then he started doing other gigs. And I remember at the time my mom would always complain about it, be like, oh, your dad he has a family, he wants to do
Not
all this other
stable.
shit. Yeah, exactly, that kind of shit, right? So I'd be like, okay, in my head, I better do something that I want to do. Otherwise, I'm going to end up like this fool doing like all these other different fucking jobs. So I was like, fuck it. Yeah, so I was like, all right, I'm going to just have to do what I like, and then I'll figure out the rest from there. So it kind of wasn't like, it was just, I just went for it, you know. But I didn't really have any pressure of like, you need to be a doctor, you need to be this. So I think in that way, my experience was kind of unique. That's why I was like, I just kind of followed what I liked, and then I just kept it there. And they didn't really have a problem with it. They were just, if they did, they wouldn't tell me. They would just like kind of maybe talk shit behind my back. But be like, yeah, I guess he's fucking doing this MMA shit or whatever. And then, yeah, so it just kind of...
It worked out.
They just let me do whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
We'll see how it turns out, though. We'll see if it was a good idea or not. We'll see. We still don't know. Story's still being written. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
But you didn't have the whole, you must be a pharmacist.
No. My parents would also say, just don't work for any Chinese people, they said.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, cool, thank you.
How do you avoid that though?
I don't know.
You might be, and you don't even know it.
Chinese guy right here, dude. Wait, you're not my employer.
Did both of you guys do exactly what your parents wanted for you?
I'd probably be a tennis player.
A tennis player?
Yeah, my dad is
You were
really
really
into
good at
sports.
tennis?
No.
Oh, your dad just was, and
Yeah,
for you?
but I
He even
even
taught me, like,
Oh yeah, that's true. He was your coach for a while.
he teaches like all the
cool.
kids in my
Yeah. He wanted us, like one of his he wanted the tennis to teach a tennis player, but then he had 3 girls, and then taught the first one. First one played like more competitively, and I got into volleyball.
Hey, that's still cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And so he, like I guess, yeah, he's really athletic. So he kind of trained all of us, but none of us got into
Did he
it.
teach
Was your dad not
karate?
into volleyball?
No.
He didn't teach you how to pancake?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I probably would have been a tennis player, but he's not so much like, I mean, he also focuses on like, oh, you gotta make money, or like, be careful with your job, or
So
like,
you gotta win.
Yeah. You gotta be grateful, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
And my mom, like, she's Brazilian, so she's pretty like chill, and she's not too much like telling me what.
Is
to
that
do.
the thing? Brazilians are known to be chill.
I just don't remember my mom telling me like what I have to be.
How cool.
Yeah, I guess more not so Asian. That's what I'm trying to
She
say.
told you not to be so Asian?
No.
Be like your father.
That sounds so stress free.
Yeah.
To like no one like telling you to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
So I guess I didn't.
They just like love you and like leave you alone. Like wow, that's so cool.
Your dad just kept serving you every morning, just come on, in the back!
Call that a backhand.
What do you mean you can talk about your feelings with your parents? Like what?
For real. I'm just like,
Oh.
what?
What about you? Would you have done anything differently?
Well, my parents like had really low expectations.
That's awesome. Same.
It's like, you know, I would come home like with a black eye. They'd be like, what did you do? You know, it's not like, who did that type
What
of
did
thing.
you do?
You know, a racist bitch, she like beat me up in the club for no reason. But like, yeah, stuff like that. But like what my mom said, she's like, you should be in IT because like, you know, I fixed the Wi-Fi once for her. It's like, oh, you're good at that. It's like, you can't fuck that up, right?
You said it.
Yeah. Or like a translator because I know Cantonese.
Because you do the Wi-Fi code.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi code, yeah. So imagine I was like a translator. That's so hard.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you
very
have
hard,
to actually
yeah.
know like, you know, like very
That's true.
official words and stuff.
That's
I'm
pretty
like,
common actually. I think sometimes I've heard from people like, oh, you should be a translator because you know English, Cantonese.
Oh, I guess,
But
yeah,
it's-
that sounds like a typical thing.
Yeah.
To know
Bart
how
was the translator.
quadlingual.
oh, yeah, and in Macau, right, you gotta like I guess the fastest way to get a white card would be to get married.
Mm-hmm.
I had a gay best friend like that time, and my mom would be like, just get married with Cholo. His name's Cholo. Just get married with Cholo. And I'm like, stop, mom, you can't just do that.
She's not kidding.
Like,
That's not a joke. She really is like, do it.
just yeah, and then, like even like my friend's mom is like, yeah, why not? Just do it. But like, you know, like, or like, no, I'm not gonna do that, mom. And even Cholo's like, I want to marry for love. Like, yeah,
They didn't
like,
bother asking him.
no one asked him. And so it's like, okay. And then I wonder if I actually pursued that, it would be like,
interesting.
you know, I would be like in Macau. Like, imagine convincing Cholo, like, come on, just do it.
Don't be so gay. Come on.
Hey, come on, Cholo, come on. That would be so weird. I would be living in Macau, and it would be like, you know,
Married for love.
Does her husband know about Cholo?
she doesn't know about Cholo.
Does the idea of living in Macau like now is that like a God, no, I need to get away from there? Or is that how you are with it?
Yeah, like back then, I thought I was gonna live in Macau forever. I was
And
like,
that's not a good thought. That's like a bad for you.
back then it was okay because that was my home, and I had a clubbing job that time. But then when the club like shut down and
Yeah.
I had the dispatcher job, then I was like, I don't want to be here because I went to the HR. I'm like, can I transfer to another department? And they're like, you're lucky you're not cleaning.
Also, because
And
there's
I'm
not a lot of different work industries. It's either you work in casinos or hospitality.
Right.
It's very limited.
They don't hire you for school job Filipinos. And there's like this rule, you have to hire like a certain amount of locals, like white card holders. One white card holder equals to
There's a quota for how many.
Weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if one like local left, like they would fire 3.
Whoa.
It's such a huge corporation, so
That's crazy.
you will see like people like with boxes like just leaving out like one day. I'm like, she's the director. What? Like yeah, but she's from China, so she had to leave, and I'm like, damn. And it's like no questions asked.
huh?
We talk about that all the time, like it's crazy. There's so many different opportunities here that we could never imagine. And like just as kids growing up in this small place called Macau, and now we're in LA.
Oh my
like,
god, even
it's crazy.
makeup, they don't go past like this shade.
Oh yeah, no
you know?
curly hair products.
Yeah,
I mean,
no curly hair products.
Have you seen that Band-Aids come in all colors here?
I know. I was like, what?
And on the
Even
next
leggings, like leggings also like different colors.
and on the next episode, we talk about how great America is again.